Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB, be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel about is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB, and all the things that must be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel about is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that must be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB WUB Belize Morning Vibes. It's Thursday, the 10th of October, 2024. We hope your morning is getting off to a beautiful start. Very happy you're here. Very happy you're ready to go. And of course, we do hope that you've got great health, your energy levels high, your vibrations positive, and that you have a morning schedule that allows you to spend quality time with Creme Radio and XTV as we present to you Belize's premier morning conversation, the WUB WUB Belize Morning Vibes. I'm Mose Hyde. October 10th, 2024. And we welcome all our listeners of Creme Radio, viewers of XTV, those getting us via our apps, social media streams, of course, getting us via simulcast coverage. We don't change how we get started. We've got a quick look at what's making news to start the day. But before we go there, we find out from the National Meteorological Service what's the weather looking like. And for that, we turn to forecaster from the National Met Service, Crystal Rosales, to tell us exactly that.
Morning. Mainly fair conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast. Skies will be mostly sunny during the daytime and then clear to partly cloudy tonight. Shower activity will be isolated. High temperatures for today will reach around 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 91 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Then for tonight, temperatures along the coast will reach around 78 degrees Fahrenheit, around 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 67 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the west to northwest at 5 knots, and sea conditions will be moderate to rough. Hence, operators of small crafts are advised to exercise caution. Low tides occur at 10:12 this morning and then at 8:25 tonight. High tides at 5:02 this evening and then at 3:05 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 12:31 this afternoon and set at 11:42 tonight. And then sunset is at 5:33 this evening and sunrise at 5:45 tomorrow morning. The extended forecast. Mainly fair conditions with isolated showers or thunderstorms are expected for Thursday, and then activity will increase over offshore and some coastal areas on Thursday night. And now for a look at the tropics. At 3 a.m., Hurricane Leslie was located near latitude 22.9 north and longitude 49.8 west, or about 2,740 miles west-southwest of the Azores. Leslie was moving to the northwest at 6 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. Then at 6 a.m., Hurricane Milton was located near latitude 28.9 north and longitude 79.5 west, or about 75 miles east-northeast of Cape Canaveral, Florida. Milton was moving to the east-northeast at 18 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio released since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Making news at this point, while the United Democratic Party's objections to voter registration in Cayo North for the July transfer period were withdrawn, the case regarding 101 objections for the month of August took a notable turn yesterday. Standing National Magistrate Carol Walters decided on a court visit on Tuesday to one of the supposed residences in question, where it is reported that an inordinate number of persons were registered. On the ground floor is a government office, and the transferees into the division supposedly live on the second floor. Well, after the site visit, the legal team for those objected to made two submissions to the court. One, that the magistrate could not continue hearing the matter since the case had not concluded by October 5th, which is the deadline stipulated in law. Second, they argued that they will file an application for judicial review in the High Court, citing that the constitutional rights of those being objected to are being violated. At that, the magistrate determined that until the matter is heard in the High Court, the transfers will be stayed. Alberto August, Deputy Chairman of the UDP, deemed this a historic outcome.
Normally, when we emerge from this kind of hearing, it has always been that the magistrate order for the person to remain on the list as they were registered. This is a victory for us because the magistrate is saying they do not go on the new list, they stay, which is what we are requesting, for them to stay from where they came from. And this is what the magistrate ordered today, that you are going to take this matter to the High Court, but in the meantime, these persons do not make it, because I cannot sign a list where I am convinced also that these persons do not live there, they do not reside there, because I visited the location. And so she made the court know I cannot sign this list. And so then therefore, in the meantime, let us take it to the High Court for final determination. And that is where we are. It is a win for us because that is what we want. We want them to remain where they were and not on the Kaya North list. Because like I said previously, we would have walked on from the court with just them being retained, like what we did in the first list in the July list or the August list when we went to Belize City. We walked out and all of them remained in the list. We walked out today and the magistrate informed that none of them is going on the Kaya North list. They will remain where they are at before they attempted to come to Kaya.
August spoke about the discrepancies they came upon. He says that due to time constraints, their team only managed to check transfers for polling station 73, which covers St. Ignacio Town. He noted that 101 out of a total 273 new names appearing on the voters list were transfers, and they challenged all of them.
After going through that list, they found out of the 273 names on that list, there was 101 names of persons that they could not find in the constituency after the various street captains assigned to those areas who know the voters on that list could not find the people. And like they informed the court that their reason was to go out there, find these new voters, introduce themselves to the new voters, welcome them to the constituency and see how they could convince them to support their party. But when they went out there, they just could not find these people. So the next process for that was to have objected to the registration of these people because they could not be found in the constituency and on the street because they don't give you no street name, house number, no. All they give you was vague street names, Church Street, like Viejo Road, Stanton Street, Beetlejuice Street, and 2 or 3 other streets. And they did not give any house number. So when they could not find those persons who were on the list, then the next process is to apply for the objection for them to be on the list. And the Elections and Boundaries provides a prescribed form for that, Form 14A. 101 persons, they filled out the forms for 101 persons and submitted the forms in due time to the Elections and Boundaries Department. The Elections and Boundaries Department used that information to create a list that is gazetted as objection for persons registered in the area. And that is the gazetted list is what was presented to the court. And that was where the hearing began for these 101 objections that the Kaya North representative at the Kaya North Standard Bearer and his team were objecting to. In fact, the neighbors in the area conforming the list, I don't know, 6 or 7 persons live here. Only this lady, a husband, and a child. In one instance, the man who lived upstairs started to provide the information, informing that only this lady and son lived downstairs, where they had several other persons, I think about 10 other persons registered. And after a while, then the magistrate returned it to the court, and the hearing continued with 1 or 2 other objectors addressing the court, informing them that they visited these areas and these persons could not be found.
A news outlet in Quintana Roo, Línea de Fuego, is reporting that sugar producers in the southern part of that state are complaining about Belizean sugar being smuggled across the border. The sugar, which is produced by BSI ASR, is much cheaper than what is produced in Mexico. This same issue has caused a scarcity of the commodity on the Belizean local market. The cost of 50 kilos, or roughly 110 pounds of Quintana Roo produced sugar, is being sold in Mexico for 1,200 to 1,300 pesos, or between $125 and $135. The same amount of Belizean smuggled sugar is being sold at only 750 pesos, or roughly $78. That's just half the price. The sugarcane of southern Quintana Roo is processed at the San Rafael de Pucute factory, which is located not far from the Rio Hondo River in the Orange Walk district. This is a general area where Belizean authorities believe that BSI sugar is smuggled over into Mexico. The factory officials say that it's not only affecting their sales, but it's also affecting cane farmers. Establishments in the area continue to demand sugar from Belize due to the much lower cost. A couple of weeks ago, news emerged that a fungus had been observed in some cane fields in Corozal. It raised concern, and stakeholders have been working to see how the issue can be addressed. Up to now, authorities still don't know the strain. However, the Minister of Agriculture, Jose Mai, informed that they have been holding trainings for farmers, and yesterday he reported that help is on the way from Brazil.
Up to now, we have done some sensitization. We have trained the farmers. We've informed them. We have to use the integrated approach to managing the disease. We know it will lead to drastic reduction in sugarcane yields. That's worrying because we have fraghopper to deal with. We have now the stem borer, and now we have this new disease in Belize. And so it's worrying to us. But I think that we are getting more information every day. We have consulted the Brazilians. They will be here shortly, I believe, to do an assessment and to give us advice on how to best manage the disease. In my view, climate change is the reason for this. The high temperatures in the soil, the high temperatures have just caused the fungus not to become a pathogen. And so we have one more disease to deal with. But working together, I think we can definitely mitigate the effects of the disease.
A team from the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, which is in Taiwan, is set to meet with their Food and Drug Administration counterpart to discuss hurdles being faced regarding the exportation of Belize shrimp to Taiwan. Currently, the Taiwan FDA is conducting a risk assessment for the seafood imports, and the officials are planning a visit to Belize later this month. The intention is to conduct site assessments of facilities interested in selling shrimp to Taiwan. Belize already exports lobster to Taiwan. The Belize Baja team comprises the Technical Director of Quarantine, Hernan Zetina, and Managing Director Zoe Robinson. They are currently participating in a plant and animal health quarantine course for managers. The trip is funded by the International Cooperation and Development Fund, Taiwan. Also participating are officials from another 31 countries around the world. The training focuses on policy development, regulations, and biosecurity protocols at points of entry with a view to safeguarding agriculture from the spread of disease. And that's all we've got via morning news update. We'll take ourselves a small break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for conversation.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
All right, welcome back. WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose, Hyde hosting this morning, and we want to welcome you back. We've completed the preliminaries. Now we can get down to the business of conversation. That's why we are gathered here, aren't we? And to participate on this Thursday morning, all you need to do is to give us a call at 280-5848. Those are the live lines for you to participate. And, well, seems the worst is past for our Belizean folks who are up in Florida, Tampa, and connected communities where we're there everywhere. But for sure, we did at Tampa, and so we kind of like, of course, this storm, which kind of like just formed, kind of almost behind us in the Gulf, behind the Yucatan Peninsula, and then came up, and at one point in time, had this just unimaginable amount of power going on, like 180 with gusting winds up to 190 miles per hour. So Milton was a huge problem. I believe that when it made landfall, it was category 3, about 120, 125 miles per hour, which is not a squall, but when you consider where it was and how strong it was, kind of sometimes you have to be grateful for small mercies. And of course, we have one of our on-air hosts, Ariel Lightfoot, who lives in Tampa, and so I think she was able to make a report yesterday, and I think I reached out to her yesterday evening, just about almost before Milton made his arrival. I think what's important is for us to be reminded that even though this season has not been as busy as anticipated, it only takes one. All it takes is one, and the season isn't over until it's over. And October has a history with us, so we have to definitely be on full alert, and man, it just takes one. We live in a time where these systems can be generated, and historic kind of strength takes place, historic kind of intensifications. So we're definitely not out of the woods, unfortunately. And so we look at what our family and neighbors to the north, this is, it's a thing. This is the neck of the woods that we are in. And so we don't know if everything. I know that there's reported that, that there's been a couple of casualties, which, nobody wants that. But they're going to now find out today as, they will be able to move around. But definitely on the heels of Helene, which pounded the southern eastern portions of the U.S. and devastated communities in all the way up from North Florida into Carolina, all the way into Georgia. So we're living in a time where it's not sometimes how busy the season is, it's just, you just get bad luck. And in the case of Florida, they got 2 in less than 2 weeks. So we know that that is an issue. But we, hopefully okay, well, we have Aria. We are going to try to hook up with Aria, see if she responds to us. She's having some problems apparently getting through. Let's see if she's able to tell us how she is.
Hey, Mose.
Good morning, Aria. I got you live via my cell phone. How are you doing?
I'm good. trust me, my anxiety is now at 0.
All right, so you had a little bumpy ride in the night, huh?
Yeah. Scared for a moment, but lots of wind and rain, but thank God all went well.
All right. What's the maximum wins you got where you're at?
About 90?
About 90.
Yeah.
Again, that's no squall. But everybody's okay. What are the reports? What is it? I have not seen any of the reports this morning. What are the reports saying? Has there been the one report I think I saw, I read, I believe, was that the worst of the projected storm surge might not have happened, which is always a big thing, very important thing to have dodged that. But what are the reports that you are getting there?
So the opposite happened. Instead of a surge, the sea actually rolled back, or the Gulf actually rolled back. And then it kind of surged back, but we didn't get that catastrophic prediction regarding the surge. So we had like one reverse effect. Well, a lot of counties, in my county too, but not my area, we had flooding. In my neighborhood, somebody reported that a tree fell on their house. I haven't gone through my neighborhood yet. Myself, we just had shingles off the roof. The back fence fell. The neighbor fence fell, and we had some debris in the yard. But some people, what's crazy about this storm is all the way in Palm Beach County, which is on the Atlantic side of Florida, not the Gulf, close to Miami. Tornadoes was spurned because of this hurricane, and some of them had worse damage than us that was in the hurricane.
Yeah. I mean, there's a level of unpredictability with that scenario. So, it's some people would remark sometimes where you would have one small weak structure that survives, and then much stronger structures that are adjacent to it that go down. Like, there's just some very strange things that happen. And
well, the Tropicana in Florida, in Tampa Bay, which is where the baseball games are played, the Tampa Bay Rays, the roof completely flew off. And in that area, that's where the linemen were hanging out to take care of the outages. So that roof completely blew off in Tampa. And a lot of people lost power. We did lose power, thank goodness, it just flickered. But we didn't lose power, but a lot of people I know have lost power.
All right. So, being that, being that you are Belmopanese, really, this, I perfectly understand your anxiety or unfamiliarity with this type of thing,
Well, I've lived in Florida now for 23 years, and we have this every year. In fact, every year we have one storm that threatens us. In 2004, we had 3 major storms that came through. It didn't hit Tampa directly, but we had trees down, and my house shook. So, like, I am actually battered here in Florida because we had to deal with Helene just 2 weeks ago. And then this hurricane just came up 2 weeks later. So and outside of storms, Tampa does get a lot of tornadoes.
Okay.
So we do get a lot of weather tornadoes and stuff like that.
So you're in battle form, you're saying? You're in battle form?
Yeah, that's why we here in Florida don't normally panic. because I get one flood of family members panicking, and that's why I kind of told them on the need for tune out CNN for a little while, because I mean, honestly, my anxiety did go high on this one, and that was because of the Cat 5 that they were talking about, and Cat 5 would be devastating.
No, reality is that at one point in time, Milton was category 5 plus, right?
Right.
So, yeah, even though there's not that, but you could make that up. 180 miles per hour is insane. So, you know, I hope that all is well. I know, you know, I have a family member that, you know, they chose to, who's studying there, chose to try to get down to Miami, which they were able to do. But we know that in Tampa, there is a significant Belizean community, especially we do still have a strong presence at UCF. Is UCF or? That's
USF.
USF.
Yeah, University of South Florida. And more Belizeans are now coming up to University of Tampa and the Hillsborough Community College. So we do have a significant amount of students. When I was going, the student population was about 50. I know it has increased significantly since then. Plus you have a lot of Belizeans that have lived here from the 70s. Like they have a sector who live here from like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that that's a story that has yet to be told. The number of Belizean students that still continue, like they probably have to have a hall named after Belizeans at some point in time, because USF, I don't know pong for pong, it's where probably the only other university that has the number of Belizeans graduating from it is the University of the West Indies. I'm talking about outside of Belize, because...
Well, Mose, I tell you, when University of South Florida, it really started with must about 4 Belizeans. But there was a guy who was on staff, and he actually recruited, he went and he recruited a lot of Belizeans to come to USF.
I said the late Dr. Jones, right?
Yes, and listen, USF is so friendly to international students, so they made it kind of, back then, I know things change a little bit, but back then USF made it very welcoming. They gave us in-state tuition, and their international arm of the university is extremely nice, friendly, plus they have a very active Caribbean community on the campus. So they are very friendly to international students. So we have a lot of Belizean students that came through USF. We now have second generation, because my son is going. He's graduating this year. So it's really, it's a great university to be, and I'm biased because I went there, but it's always encouraged people to consider it as a Florida university. It's not Miami. You're not in Tallahassee. We're in the middle of it all, but it's really a welcoming, diverse university. So
give me a guess about how many students you believe are attending there, Belizean students are attending there presently.
I would say if it was 50 when I was going, there must be at least 100 now. When I was going, my professor, and by the way, we have an active Belizean association on campus. So there is a Belize organization on campus. When I was going, there was one. It kind of broke up for a little while, but it was restarted by this girl, Crystal Wu, from San Ignacio. So they have a very active community on campus. I would say maybe 100 at least. And we do have USF professors that are Belizeans too. So it's, there's quite an active community there.
Yeah.
I think your sister was going when I was going.
Yeah. Both my sisters. Both of my. I have. Well, let me see. No, I have several other cousins. So I have two of my sisters, and I have some cousins who went there as well. I try to figure out the whole
I
amount.
did meet your cousins. They
Yeah.
were there when I was there. And
Yeah.
Natalia.
So because a whole bunch of my people.
Yeah.
Two of my
yeah.
sister, and I know about three cousins really.
Okay.
Yeah. So go USF.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I can't. I mean, when I was going, it was a great university, and now it's even better with all the facilities and stuff they're adding to
This
it.
is quickly turning into a endorsement of USF, but just point is that we assume that based on what you know, Aria, that you have decided, and we are very thankful to become our kind of. While you have to face the hurricane, also a part of our correspondent responsibilities here, being that your host, is there going to...
Label String Connections.
Is there going to be a show or...
Yes, definitely, because, and I wasn't sure initially because I didn't even know if I would have power, but thank God we have power. We didn't lose it, so I will do the show.
All right, and do a little promo, man. Who's your guest? You have a guest?
Well, Bilal wanted us to talk about the hurricane. I could probably try to get someone who is affected. I'll try to reach out to a student, maybe bring in one of the USF students. I'll reach out to her and see what she says. Or anybody impacted. I mean, we have a Belizean here. I don't want to call her name because it's her personal stuff, but she lives on the water. And Helene, she got completely washed out, where she lost all her stuff. And I just contacted her. They're safe, but she doesn't know what the condition of her house is.
All right.
Because she was in the evacuation zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you're safe and you're good. The show goes on, obviously, so we're glad to hear that. For people who are, loyal fans here on XTV Belize Radio of Neighbor Strings Connections, Aria Lightfoot and Bilal Morris. And then, to the best of our knowledge, you would say most of our folks out that side are safe. I imagine you have a bunch of very worried family members here. Like I say, 180 and nothing nice to stare down the barrel of. So
no, it was nerve-wracking, and it was even more nerve-wracking because I tell everybody I'm the only true Belizean in my house, and so the other people, my son, who was born and raised here, and then my husband in America, so they never really take this thing as seriously as I was. And I guess because we've lived in Tampa so long and we've dealt with storms so long, then you're panicking, and I have to remind them about their Cat 5 level hurricanes. My son slept through it,
How you as the voice of the diaspora, a diasporan activist, how you could dare create such one delineation between yourself and your family? My goodness, man. One by birth and one by marriage, then a Belizean now to man. One true Belizean in the house. My goodness.
I didn't say that because I didn't talk about my fear factor. Every Belizean is aware of how dangerous storms can be. And no matter how much I try to impress upon them how these things can become extremely dangerous, they're comforted with the fact that, hey, we have emergency services right down the street. We have like they see and I guess that's the balance, because they say if anything happen, you could solve it quickly, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think one has to look at what Helene did to this empire of a country, the damage,
Yes.
the horrific impact in Carolina and in Georgia. Like, I mean, you're looking. I think the last check we're nearing like about 300 deaths. So
Yes.
it's
I think what it is, I consume more news than they do, and so it's like, but I don't think that and I think, to a certain extent, maybe they might be a little desensitized to media announcing, like, it all depends on what type of media you consume here, what be your level of interest. So, because storms and stuff, I am always conscious of it, and I consume a lot of news and stuff like that. I am worried because I see that whatever. My younger son, even though he's aware of a lot of stuff, he's not consuming it to that level. And then I just think that when it comes to my husband, he like be my counter. If I say A, he answer B. So I just think that.
Well, the thing is, as I kind of opened up the show this morning to say it to listeners and viewers here, that it's been below what was projected insofar as the level of activity in the hurricane season. No complaining coming from me. I don't want Mother Nature to interpret that as being any kind of disappointment. It's like, thank you, but we have to understand that unfortunately we are not out of the woods, and so, and for you guys, there's no law that says you can't get a triple play. I don't wish it on you.
Today, Mose, it feel like cold front. I could already tell you that the weather is changing, because even though we not get winter here in Tampa, it get pretty cold. We go down to in the 20s sometimes.
But
I
just
could,
like
I could tell the season decided to change already, so I don't anticipate.
Well,
and I think that we broke up this storm.
no, but you have to understand, we've been, Milton has been a gift-bearing system for us, at least from the standpoint of providing us with cooler temperatures to the point where it could even borderline cold frontish. We've had cooler temperatures. The wind's been coming out of the west, northwest, and so it's really just because of the rotation of the storm. So, these systems have a huge impact, and they're able to bring down cooler air as they rotate counterclockwise. I don't know, weatherman, but that's just what happens. So I wouldn't,
It's true, but
I wouldn't jump to any presumption of clearance there, Aria, please.
I don't want to, but the only thing I'll say is that before it hit, the cold front was coming down.
Okay.
Before this hurricane, and today you could feel the crisp in the air, which is like one different feeling than when we have full summer and a lot of humidity.
Actually, I had to draw for my blanket a couple nights ago. I got sleep, no got on no shirt, and when the things started to get very nippy. I said, what the hell? So I had to draw off a blanket quick. But the reality is, though, that, it's not really because a system came down, but really, for us at least, it's because of just the rotation of the storm, and it's the power of it and the proximity. It made you realize, we think about Cancun as being so far away, but the reality is that we share this little piece. We share this little thing, this Yucatan, no?
But if you think about Yucatan to Belize and you look at the size of Florida, you realize that if one of the major storms would come in, it no matter if it hit Belize or Mexico, it could be both countries.
Listen, that's one of the take-home realities of Helene. No, it shows you that not only the force or the strength of a storm, but the size of it is also something that is important. In the case of Helene, that was just a massive storm.
And we didn't get, it was 150 miles from Tampa, and look at the impact that it created.
Yeah.
It never landed here in Tampa.
Yeah, it was just massive, and the what I say, the radius or the of the hurricane force winds, made it there. But Aria, we're glad to know you're safe, your family, and we know. Well, I guess sooner or later we know that everybody's okay. That we know that we got with people in there. Tampa, a place with power there, especially with young people, students, and we wish that every one of them is okay this morning. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that you've kind of done a little bit of correspondent work for us here, reporting, and we are connected, ultimately. Neighbor string connections, so the thing go.
Well, always very thankful that Krem has provided us with that voice. We never forget that. Krem was the first one and bring attention to the Belize diaspora. So thanks very much, Mose.
All right, you have a good day, and all the best to you and your family, all right?
Thanks, Mose. Take care.
All right. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Thursday, 10th October, 2024. We're going to jump into Two Cents Calm, take our first break of the morning, come back. We're going to shift off. Of course, we hope that, if you have a family member in that general area, that he or she is okay or they are okay. Okay? We go to a break. We'll be back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, getting off the ground here on this Thursday morning. We'll be back. Today, Thursday, the 10th of October 2024. Mose Hyde hosting WUB today. Our telephone number is 280-5848. That's the live line for you to participate in the conversation. First segment of the show, we very appreciative of the fact we were able to speak via direct cell phone call to Aria Lightfoot. Of course, she lives in the Tampa area, and so she gave us a first-hand account of how they handled things last night, dealing with Hurricane Milton, which thankfully was not as strong as when it landed as a couple of days ago, when it was historic strength, one of the strongest storms for a very long time. Fortunately, all that strength was when it was at sea. Good to know. And we find it to be of interest just because of the number of Belizeans who live, and especially younger folks who go there to study. Talking about study, talking about younger folks, we have to just comment on the matter of this student that basically has gotten a hip injury and is bedridden and dealing with hospitalization and costs and all of that. And, say he was bullied. And we know that at this point, everybody is coming out and they're condemning bullying, and the matter has to be looked after and all of that. And I imagine that this is the term that is used. I feel that there is bullying and then there is assault. And I guess assault is an extreme form of bullying, but I think, really say what it is when you say that somebody was bullied to the point that they gave a hip injury and, everything will come along with that. That suggests to me that there was aggravated assault and the student in question got injured, apparently from other students. We understand bullying, and it's, very few people, I feel, by the strict definition of bullying, unless you were a bully, know what being bullied is like. It's you experience it. That's but lately, of course, there's been a lot of discussion and about trying to make schools bully-free zones, and this is all good. This is very progressive and all of that. Just that if you injured a student to the point where you require hospitalization, then I don't know why I call it bullying anymore. That strikes me as assault, and so that's one. And the next thing for me is that it's a more complex problem, like I said, and the likelihood that a child is going to get bullied today somewhere is relatively high. That this is something that happens. Now, when it's something that is really egregious, when it's something that results in some kind of very severe energy, then it makes news and we all see it, and everybody jumps in, the choir of condemnation starts to sing. But the reality is that at a lower level of intensity, students will experience intimidation, will experience being threatened, and will experience unkindness and verbal, physical. It's in the environment. For me, it's like this is a learned behavior. And so when children observe and when they themselves have been the recipient of that kind of energy, then that's what they're going to put out. And if we think about us as an overall society, just going by the term quote unquote bullying takes place many different facets of the society. In fact, a hotbed of bullying takes place in the House of Representatives, where standard operating procedure requires verbal assaults and all of that. It's standard and it's almost entertainment. And even when people raise up to say, listen, we have to represent and reflect what we want to see in society, and that's why the sitting of the House and the debates that take place should be at a certain level. So it's hard for you to say we want to create a bully-free school zone when we don't have a bully-free society. And again, we have to have a consciousness about self, because even say, for example, in the media, there is a requirement for us to really be a version of ourselves that we have respect. And so I don't believe that just listening and talking about the matter of bullying, that bullying is just a matter of something that takes place in the classroom. More children learn this behavior. And so there is a need for us to have a conversation about how we treat each other, how we treat children, and what children see of us. Again, this young student, when you send your child to school, you want to know that your child is safe, obviously. And you want to know that your child is going into a safe space, that they will have respect and all of that. The respective administrations of schools have to have this as a high priority area. Their interventions, their preventative kind of engagement and focus on it, that's something that has to be standard now. It's 2024. And whether or not it's a kindergarten space or it's a tertiary space, administrations, various school administrations have to have their plan to create a zone, because you have people's children there. So that's understood. But we also have to be conscious that bullying is something that is being learned. And being very clear that if you assault somebody to the point where they get a very severe injury, then that's borderline a crime. But the less severe forms of bullying which goes on every day, from the different type of verbal, mental, and every other form of hostility that children give to each other, it is something that is being observed and something that's being learned. And it's not only just being learned in a home, but it's something that is being observed in the greater society. We have a call from Good Morning WUB.
Good morning, Mose. I listen to you, and we know bullying is not new. It may have more space now. When we were younger, we go to school, we might say other things, people a chance you, whatever we might say. But listening to you, I ask myself, I never just believe bullying may happen, but in reflecting upon it just seemed to me that two things may contribute to it, and I may want to get your 2 cents if you think then two things contribute to it, because indeed, children are a product of the environment. One, what I call the Kotala Scream parenting style. Mm-hmm. If that could contribute to the kind of bullying we hear about now. And then two, as we know, a lot of we grow up, they get lashing. And we have one bunch of leisure people who still adhere to lashing, where that just one, oftentimes, bigger person in body, older person, your parents, they physically discipline you because you know to do what they say. Which bullying could be interpreted the same way regardless of the incentive, like why somebody want you to do what they want you to do. They're usually bigger than you, stronger than you, put some kind of fear in you. So I'd ask you if you think maybe the way generationally we discipline the lashing. And then I'd say, since I come over 18 years ago, I say expansion of what I call the Kosala screen parenting style.
Yeah, there's a level of accepted viciousness in what is said and at times what is done to a child, and I don't think there is any question that that is a part of the contributing, enabling kind of what children are learning. And again, I think that you have really challenged me and challenged others, that in our interaction, even in the face of disagreement, even in the face of somebody being unreasonable, that we are challenged in this space where we can be seen and heard, right? We're not there at the bar as a media person, talk show host. I'm not in a bar where I can, if I'm in the bar and I'm near somebody with go an argument and they go, I could call on anything and we could go at one another. And even then it's not really desirable, but it is still not anywhere near as impactful as when you're in this public space and you're conducting yourself. Listen, there's nobody that teaches anybody how to parent. We most of how we parent, that what we learn from we parents who never did really know experts at it. You're gonna try to figure it out, and you say, well, you never did, and you turn a responsible adult, I do my job. But we get that it's challenging, and trying to become better at it is something we have to encourage. And we do know that the home space for some children is actually bullying. The term bullying, I think, become like a fad, right? So I get it that that's a term used, but really it's the term not really carry the weight away some children they experience in a personal space, and then when they observe in a public space, and so it is a complex behavior to try to change, and just jumping up and to say, well, we condemn bullying, I feel is really and truly inadequate. It's like we have to understand that what children do to each other represents a symptom. It represents a reflection of things learned and things observed that have been internalized. And so we can't stop short. Yes, we don't want this to be taking place in schools. Yes, we need to challenge and hold school administrators and administrations accountable for them to put in place and to be thorough and to be responsive. It's like even at least again we that before people may worry about whether they get bullied or not, right? Regeneration, it's like, don't come tell me nothing. You have to learn how to defend for yourself, right? We come up that, like I was never I'm a skinny kid, so I gave my monka I don't want to call it bully. You get a level of adversity, and you get a level of lick out, right? And again, the way how you come up is that, if you complain, or if you go to a teacher, if you go to a principal, or if you go to your ma, your pa, then you're weak. And especially for boy children, that's the last thing you want to be. So when somebody do something wrong, right, yeah, you cool, you avoid you that problem. But I feel that now it's healthy for us to be engaged, and it's really terrible when it goes so bad that a child becomes severely injured. So obviously it is a time for there to be a reflection, to be a conversation, and for the respective authorities to come forward and, the standard condemnation of stuff. But I'm saying here that it is a very inadequate assessment of all that creates this challenge that exists in the school. And I know that, say for example, I mean, people say, well, everything go wrong, we always find a way for put one lick on leaders. Well, that wouldn't get it far, because to whom a lot has been given, a lot is expected. And so I think it's a moment for us to, if we are going to say that we don't want the classroom to be a place where children are being treated with less than proper respect, then everybody in a leadership position has to not just say that rhetorically, not just say words, but you have to say, okay, how you reflect, because you can't deny the fact. If I had on talk show, I'm sure that 25 years at Depon on talk show that I have had the privilege of influence, and so I can either abuse that, or I can either just be another source of confirmation to a child that this is the way you're supposed to be, this is how you do it, or I can be some kind of example that, okay, we have to have respect even when we disagree. And it really appropriate that you call, because you have just really been holding me accountable in the space to say, no, you have to listen. Arguments can become very passionate, and we can become loud, and when we become loud, that is still not an energy that is good to observe. So I might not get up and say, boy, you don't want idiot, boy, you don't want fool, or you know, this, and get into name calling and, violate somebody just because I find their argument to be without merit. I think we are able to have these conversations with a level of respect. And so we all have one part to play in looking at self to see how we can create a more enabling environment for children, that they can understand how to be better version of themselves. And I will end there.
I appreciate that more than, again, that I want to have conversation with people like you, make I think differently, or question where I don't think I'm ready or position where I have, because for some reason, even though I'm here, I just got a report last week about bullying situation at school. And I heard this before, but I just heard it last week, so I had to say it. Where the parents feel helpless because the report makes to the administration more than once for this particular child with a bully. But this particular child with a bully have one parent who work in the administration. So they feel like they're concerned that they get hurt. So another parent will perceive child may get bullied too. And at this one approach her here more than once. So feel like I need to waste no time with the school. The parent of the child who's being bullied, or the family member of the child who's being bullied, should approach the bully. No, this is one adult to a child now. And make them know, you touch my youth again, or you deal with my youth again, and I deal with you. And I hear that report more than once, because people just frustrated and knowing to waste no time. And then, no, like, to me, that like the adults, the bully, the bully now.
Yeah.
But then the child, no, bother pick them anymore, because the parents don't know. But then I hear a situation where one child on bully, and the school know the child the bully, but they don't want to deal with the bully because the bully got street links. And then that become another issue. So, while listening to the conversation with you, I don't know who the MCO, but then the Pantapa things. I really want to make we as community members look proper we self, and not disengage and say, well, I know my child they get bullied, I don't got picked away in a school no more per se. That the communities, that the homes contribute to bullying, and we need to be real and honest with ourselves about this.
Yeah. Like the first
We
day,
have
my
our
first day, in my school journey, Infant 1, Calvary Temple. First day, maybe within the first hour, a next boy in class looked at me. I don't know what my face said to him, but he never really took to me, and just say I will beat you up, and I ran home lunch because I know, this is a new thing now, like somebody had telling me about your backside. And of course the response was, I never want to go back to school. I said, no, you have to go back, and you can't be afraid. I don't know if that was good advice, because I gave my backside beat down and pushed in a mud the afternoon. So my first day of school. The story is not about me. It's about, I think back about what was that child's experience up to that point, where create the energy, where create the energy that of aggression and lashing out. And so I think this is a part of the conversation which we also need to have, that it's not just what is necessary is not only that we punish and we take a child and say, oh, we have to deal with you. It is an alarm bell that's going off for you to find out, okay, what is this child experiencing and required intervention. And indeed, we live in a time where some children lived and are living in spaces where are just completely unacceptable with what they are experiencing. And we live in a time where parties are raging street conflict. Children are seeing death, are again going back to if we think about the Gale report, Sister Yaya, and what a high percentage of children who don't know what it is to experience affection. I mean, this is data that has been collected and done so in a manner that was extremely effective. And so we have to, especially at the leadership level, as a parent, you know what, I don't want to hear the rest. School better make sure that they have the resources and the processes to make sure that, this is not what happened, and the respective authorities, the Ministry of Education and all of that, they got a job to do. But at the level of the state and the level of society, we also have to be concerned about the environment, indeed, that is creating this kind of energy, and this type of outcome.
Well, I'm curious because I know anything make news, and then we have one conversation about it for the talk show. Next.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know how you get out of that. It's again, it's there are limitations to a process like this. There are limitations to the extent to which talk shows or conversations, national conversations, are able to have meaningful impact. But we do have people who are holding salaried positions who this is their 90 get up this morning, this is on their to-do list. So they are aware, not just when bullying takes place, when it becomes so severe that it makes news, they are aware that this is a constant reality, and they have to create a safe zone. And it can't be that you have one particular school that's doing an outstanding job, and then you have a bunch of other schools that are nowhere near that. There has to be a standardization of the approach and what is required to make sure that all spaces are going to be a safe space for children. But it's not to, it's not to criminalize the child, especially at an early age, to say, okay, it is to see that is a call for an intervention, because there are times when that very child that is doing that is a child that is experiencing a level of toxicity, and in some cases, let's be truthful, some levels of horror. And so we need to definitely, and listen, don't you think for a minute that, oh, you might have a school where that's for the affluent, and think that, oh well, affluent children no bully. So no matter the income bracket, bullying the guan, and children are experiencing negative energy across the board. So you would hope that the people who have this as their job not stop do it or stop care about it the minute they're not in the news or they're on top shows anymore.
So can I go ahead and mention the Gale report, because it's a recommendation, and I know people that said there were other reports, but that's not the one where I gravitate to, that should be used, still be used, and have active community participation. I appreciate the reasoning as always.
Give thanks.
Under the people and save the people.
It's 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. This is the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's Thursday, the 10th of October, the 2024. Mose Hyde hosting. Our telephone number for you to call in is 280-5848. That is the live line for you to participate in the conversation. We want to get you on board. You know how this works, right? Good. Link with us. Earlier on, we heard from our colleague Aria Lightfoot, who resides in Tampa, Florida, where they experienced a little bit of Milton last night. According to her, they experienced 90 miles per hour winds. We have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling concerning the topic you just had about bullying.
Yes, yes.
I'm a grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and I get bullied every time I go to school by the teachers.
You get bullied by the teachers?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You park, you're so happy that you're going to take lunch, and you see other children, and it's so beautiful to see the kids. And the first bullying I get is when I say good morning to the teachers. And their attitude is good morning, or they pretend they don't hear you. So, I put myself on the other side to be a child. Can you imagine you walk into school, you already have a little situation with your parents. You never know what they're going through. He could be a drug addict, he could be an abuser, he could be, or the parents, there's not a good relationship, or you have a sick mom, or you don't know how you're going to go to school for the day, you're going to have money for your little lunch, and all of these things. And the first thing you're going to confront is a teacher. And I look at this way. If they could disrespect an adult, what do you think about the children? I've been to the school. In one day, there were 2 sick children. One of them was outside in the ramp where they sell food, and the other one was in the office, in the teacher's office. This little girl had she's lactose intolerant, and she was really sick. So I just didn't know. I went and I told her, and the teachers told me, oh, they're going to come and pick her up. And I said, and how come they have not come to pick her up? Mm-hmm. What are you guys going to do? This little girl is rolling herself on the chair with this horrible pain. As a little girl, I thought that she had other situations, but it was not another situation. It was lactose intolerant. So finally, I got somebody to put her on somebody picked her up, not her family. I took her home, sorry. And I called her mother and I said, Miss, I am just a grandmother here at the school. I have my grandson. Let me in. Would it be okay for me to, I don't know where to take your little daughter. I said, but I just told the principal that she can't stay in this school for over an hour with this pain that she's having. But I'm asking you permission. What do I do? Where do I take her? I don't know, you guys. I don't know where you live. So the parent said, yes, I'm here at the branch, blah, blah, blah. So I took the little girl home. I said, do you have somebody to stay with? He said, yes, my auntie is there. Fine. I go back in the afternoon. And this other little boy is just like rolling his head with his worst headache. Horrible. Oh my God. And I said, the first thing I do, I buy water and I bought him a Sprite. So I put a water bag on his little head, on the back of his neck, and gave him a Sprite. So he looked at me and he says, Miss, and I said, what happened? Where's your father? Where's your mother? Oh, I don't know, they haven't come for me. So the guy from the school, the watchman from the school, he said, yes, he's been sitting there for a while, but I said, but what is going on in the school? He's sitting on the sun. What will happen if this little boy passes out? So I took out some money and I sent him on a taxi. I asked that in all of his information and everything, and give some money, give him Sprite, give him an extra money to go to go home. Your parents there, he says, yes, miss, they're there, but they can't come and get me because there's only one Gold Sprite. So I send the little boy home. But 2 kids in one day. So there is a situation, and I always look at this way, because the teachers are being paid. First of all, the teachers are being paid by us. Whatever government pays, it's us that pay it. So, and now they get half of their money off from government, or however they get it. But they're there to do a job, and they're there to take care of the children. And a lot of them, they don't care who they are and what they are. They had a situation
while I would not dispute what you saw and what you experienced, undoubtedly you will have, as with all professions, people who fall below the expected and required standard of training and professionalism. And like how everybody not make for be police, for sure everybody not make for be a teacher. But I wouldn't say, well, one lot of them. I think in what you observed was a poorly dealt with situation. What you experienced is obviously somebody that did not act in a way that we would want them to act. But across the board, I think we can flood you with stories of teachers who have been there, who have to carry the weight of the difficulties that a child is experiencing at home, and they have to be there supportive. I think so. We have to be fair that while we want to point out that we can't be talking about bullying if we don't all. I think that was the point I was making earlier, that we all have to confront our responsibility to kind of create a society where we have fundamental respect for one another in the way we speak to one another, how we engage, especially when we're in a position of influence and leadership, which includes a teacher, a principal, a media worker, a talk show host, and elected leader. We have a tremendous responsibility.
We have to have a responsibility as a human being, and especially put in a position where you, like you say, where you're a teacher, you're a store person, you work in an office, you work in a bank. That is a responsibility that you have to carry. And it doesn't matter what's going on inside of your home as a human being. You got to kind of like brush it off and still put a pretty face out there. Because when you think that your problem is bad, the problem out there is worse.
You think there's not bullying in the workplace? You think there's not bullying in the workplace? You think there's not bullying? Yeah, I mean...
There is bullying in the workplace.
It's hard to find a bully-free space.
There is bullying in a place.
Yeah, I'm saying it's hard to find a bully-free space. It's hard to find.
This is not a situation where you have confronted only one person in that school. Most of them, you've confronted them. And you know what? Sometimes it's very scary to even look up at a person and tell them good morning, because they have them snout. You walk into an office to make a payment or a bank or something like that, and they already have their phone. So they're bullying you. Because you know what? They wouldn't have a job if we don't engage in them. And then we had a situation, the same situation they had in the whole country about the children with their long hair. I'm standing out there and I pinpoint a person and I saw that he has one of the school's logo. And I said, why is he accepted in the school as a teacher with a big ponytail on his side of his head, the whole dreadlocks? And then for many weeks, many school sessions, the air of the school. They're sending the children back home because their hair is long and their hair is this and their hair is that. I understand how you should act and how there is a dress code and there is a place and time where you could let go your hair and do whatever you want to do. But at a school, if the principal and the school board is bullying the children for having their long hair, why are they accepting a teacher to go with a big roll of ponytail, funny head? So it's you know, it's not just bullying, it's just the way people are. You know, they pinpoint some of the kids and they bully the children. And I'm sorry what happened to that young man. But you know what? It's sad because we sit down there here and we watch all of this. I've seen bullying for 4 straight years with my own family. And I saw it with my own son. For 7 years, he went to the same school. But because there was no other high school, I forced him to go there. And it's something now that I have regretted all my life. Because you know what? When I speak to the individuals, they tell me, yes, because they did the same thing to me. They did the same thing to this one. And people don't talk. The parents don't talk. Because a lot of times we're caught in a one-way road that there's no other help. There's no other high school. The only high school you have to go is that one that they could afford, or that's the only high school in the community. So it's sad. So bullying, this is a topic that will never get solved unless we look at it in a different way and we continue talking about it. So Mose, I'm glad you brought up this situation, and thank you very much because this is something that has to continue.
Thank you very much for your call and input as well.
Okay.
All right. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's 8:29. We're going to take a break and come back.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MS
Alright, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Thursday morning, the 10th of October 2024, and got an stamp up a player. Where you going, Matthew, smiling?
Morning. Survive, my brother. That's all I could say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I know everybody as lucky as we are, but...
So what part you there, you get it one, a little bit, what kind of wind you get?
We get some crazy wind and rain.
No man, they say that, I never asked you, okay, how many miles per hour sustained winds did you experience, sir?
I think our area got close to 110.
Okay. Alright.
Because the I made landfall like a little south of where we there.
Alright. So you're not in Tampa itself, no?
I heard like the distance of Hattieville and Belize City.
Alright. That could make all the difference in the world. And
yeah, it does.
Alright. But everybody for you is okay, health, everybody good?
Yes, everybody okay. In this neighborhood here, they have a couple of the neighbors will lose a piece of the shingles off of the roof, but otherwise, when that everybody is straight.
Well, how you understand when you did that 180, you really jump here, or you?
Have to. That catastrophe, bro.
Indeed, yeah.
All the areas by the coastline there, St. Pete, Clearwater, and a place there where, tourist area, visit the place there, all in place there. When you gone, deal with this, I mean, really bad out there.
How you stand with Helene from hell?
Helene never really does nothing. They said people are from the coastline, only they had the worst of it.
Yeah.
So, but they never did recover from Helene and gone to Milton, no. Because Helene never made landfall until it reached all the way up to the Florida Panhandle at Tallahassee. Helene stayed outside, but we just get the outer wind and a lot of storm surge. That damage this area for Helene.
Alright.
For Helene, but
a lot of coffee to that side, no?
Well, good amount, yeah. Enough Belizeans,
but to best your knowledge, body okay?
Yeah. I don't hear nothing negative for any Belizeans so far.
Alright.
Everybody alright.
Well, that's the bottom line, no? That's the best you could hope for.
I mean, I'm really sure to everybody else yet, but
hurricane, they say you can run, but you can't hide.
Right, you say it right. But I always tell people, hurricanes, the life first, all developments, so try to save life. After that, deal with the rest.
Well, show some of the pictures of the water and things like that. It could have been worse, you know that line?
Yeah. But I know that where the I made landfall is strongest and so that they down the side they really messed up. Yeah, down the side they really. And also before it came on shore, we had a lot of tornado. Tornado warning in this area, I mean like 5 on it.
Yeah.
So they got a public thing we go up on all TV, radio, cell phones. Tornado warning, flash flood.
Honorable brother or sister, we like you know, I love you know, and respect you know, everything. I want everything to be good, you know. But truth be told, boy, better you know than we. So, yeah, yeah. We have to be honest, you know. We have to be very honest.
Yeah.
You know, right now, the Hurricane, they want green card. So, good for them. Helene and Milton, they want migrate. Good for them.
Apparently there's another one coming too, developing.
Yeah?
Nadine. So, we will see though.
Uh-huh.
I've been through me share of hurricanes, so.
Yeah. Well, good reaching out. Good to know safe birds and yeah. Yeah, respect. Matthew Smiling. Yeah, man. Matthew Smiling linking us from Tampa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. That was Matthew Smiling, a good friend. I guess a part of the coffee community, Belize and diaspora community. There's a good number of them in that area. Experience Florida, you know how you go. Belize and Floridians stand up. Respect. We hope you're all well and over that. And of course, we don't want nothing more go your way. We never want it to go. We also say, if we forgot choice, we have to be honest. We're not too interested in them people like Helene and Milton and I don't know who else to come after that. We just count down the days to the end of this season and hope that we don't have to deal with none of that. Have to be honest, we have to call it what it is. The telephone number 280-5848, that is the live line for you to participate in the conversation. So we hear from two Tampa Belizeans. We hear earlier on from Maria Lightfoot, Matthew Smiling dropping in, telling us that he's okay. And then in sandwich in between that, we spoke a little bit about this whole matter of bullying gone way out of hand when you have somebody having to be hospitalized, being severely injured. That's another level. And we think that we have a part to play. One, we have to have honest conversations about it, but also we have to encourage and hold accountable those who are in leadership positions to understand that bullying is really symptomatic of, you know, a lot of things going wrong. And we have a part to play in trying to create a better culture, a culture where we have respect for one another. And we do need to be very clear, though, that the school has to be a bully-free space, and it has to be treated with that level of priority. Again, we know that bullying takes place in many different corners of the society, different levels of the society. It's not just from child to child, but no doubt it goes on. Today there's going to be some bullying. You can't even deal with a mild variety of bullying. Zero. There has to be mechanisms in place for children to be safe, to report, and to have interventions that are not just about punitively looking to address it, but also to look at source and look at interventions that can really and truly address some of the root causes of it. So we had that conversation earlier on. What we are going to do is to take a final break of the morning and come back with the last segment.
It's an massive
All right, welcome back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's 8:54, time for us to close down today. We invite you, of course, to join WB tomorrow morning at 6:30. Should be joined by Sister Yaya, hosting, sitting in for Brother Nuri Mohammed, who's off. We will close down for now. As always, we are not able to do this without our team, which of course is led by the glue, Mr. Cliff Flores at XTV, along with our director this morning, Ms. Krista Flowers. Our technician at Creme Radio, because this is a simulcast, this is radio, this is TV experience. Our technician at Creme Radio is Larry G. We hope you guys have a great Thursday. Always stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place.